Hey y'all, I've been working out in the garden with Bob this afternoon and just came in, cleaned up, and I thought I'd go ahead and put us some dinner together and then just cook it later because we're probably going to go back out in the garden and work a little bit more later in the day, or at least just sit out there because it's such a beautiful day. It's in the 70s here today. Spring is getting here. Let me tell you what I've done. I've just looked in the refrigerator to see what I had. And I had a cauliflower and I had some rotisserie chicken. So I thought, well, I'll just try to put together some sort of little casserole with that. So what I did, I went ahead and boiled the cauliflower, and I divided it up in between. I just cooked it till it's fork tender, and then I broke it up in between these two dishes. So you can see that's just little pieces of cauliflower in there. And I put it in two dishes because that way I can either give one away or save it for another day. And then with the rotisserie chicken, I had pulled it off the bone yesterday when I was making some fajitas, and I had this much left over. So I just want to make sure it's in small enough pieces that it'll mix in really good in the stuff that I'm doing. So you can see I've got it in pretty small pieces in here. So I'm just going to sprinkle this over evenly in these two dishes so that there's a little bit of chicken in each bite. I think that'll be good. I could have done a chicken and hash brown recipe that I think I've already filmed that once, but I thought, well, the cauliflower would be good and probably healthier for us, so we'll see how that does. Maybe good, maybe not. I use some of this same cheese sauce that I'm going to put on here. I use it when I do cauliflower with cheese sauce anyhow. So now I've taken an onion, chopped it up, and I've sauteed it over here in some butter. So let me get that. It's just about ready. Get that off the stove. So you can see all that is just some onions that's been sauteing in a little butter. I have to use a spoon to get those up. Just gonna sprinkle those over this too. I probably could have put raw onion in here, but basically all this casserole is gonna have to do is heat up and melt the cheeses and stuff, so I was afraid it might not get the onions done. I didn't want crunchy onions in my recipe. And the butter will just add that much more flavor too. So there we go. So there we go with that. And now I'm going to mix up the sauces. I've got about maybe 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise in here, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of yellow mustard, just regular yellow mustard in here. Shake it up so that first little bit of juice doesn't come out. And I'm probably going to put a couple of tablespoons of that. I don't usually measure it, but I'm going to measure it for y'all just so you can see what I'm doing. One heaping tablespoon, and here's another one. Basically, I'm just going to turn that mayonnaise yellow, like that. And then I'm going to add some sour cream in here. Put this other bigger bowl out, thinking that that might be what I need to use, but I think I can just mix this over in here because this little bowl is not going to be big enough for what I'm doing. So I'm going to mix this liquid type stuff along with the cheeses and then put it over the, so I've got about a cup of sour cream I'm putting in here now too. Sour cream makes everything good. And so does cream of chicken soup, which is the next ingredient I'm going to put in here. cheeses. I've got some sharp cheddar cheese here. This is about maybe 4 ounces. I've already used some of it. It was an 8-ounce package. So, open. So I've got that going in there. And I've got a little bit of Parmesan cheese I'm gonna put in there too. Maybe about, it's probably about maybe 1/4 of a cup there. 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. And mix all that in together. Now I've got some Velveeta cheese, which is pasteurized processed cheese that I'm gonna try to grate that in there. Let's see if I can get it to grate. It's kind of soft, so it's hard to grate sometimes, but looks like it's doing pretty good here. And this is about 8 ounces of this. Like I said, it gets kind of squishy here at the end because it warms up from my hand. I grew up eating nothing but Velveeta. I didn't even know what cheddar cheese and other kind of real cheeses were. I still love macaroni and cheese made with pasteurized processed cheese. So, all right, that should do it. And it just melts really good. That's the main thing about it. Makes everything really good. All right, so got all that mixed together. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of a kick to this. I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit of jalapenos. And of course this would be optional. Don't have to do this, but, and I'm not gonna do very much because I'm not a big fan of hot and spicy. I do like the flavor of jalapenos, but not too much of spice. So this is only about maybe a teaspoon there. So it might be 2 teaspoons in here. Just to give it that little bit of a kick. So few in there that probably some bites you won't even get any of it. Alrighty. So you can see this is a pretty thick sauce, but a lot of it will melt when I put it in the oven. At least I'm hoping it will. Like I said, I'm just playing around here. I haven't tested any of this. I think I'll add a little bit of pepper, just regular black pepper. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the dish here. About 1/4 of a teaspoon in each dish. And I'm not going to add salt at this point because I think the rotisserie chicken was salty enough. I did salt the water that I cooked the cauliflower in, and of course cheeses are pretty salty, so I think I'm going to not add any salt, and we can just add it if we need it when we start to eat. So I'm just going to kind of divide this in half right here and start dipping it out onto my I'm not really going to stir it because I don't want to tear up the cauliflower and just have it go to mush. But I think as it cooks, it'll melt down in there and be good. So, like I said, it's still early in the day here, so I'm not gonna put this in the oven now. I'll put it in the oven when it gets closer to dinner time. So what I'm gonna do is just put it in the refrigerator until then. But this is something that, you know, if you wanted to do something like this, you could prepare it yourselves in the morning or the day ahead, and you know, have dinner where all you had to do is pop it in the oven when you get home. I'll probably cover this with some graham crackers and butter before I put it in the, I'm not gonna put them on there now because I don't want them to get soggy, but I'll do that before I bake it. Anyhow, y'all get the idea, and I just wanted to say I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope it's as beautiful where you live as it is here today. If you get a chance to go to my YouTube, please go there and hit subscribe. I only have about 93 followers on YouTube, but on Facebook I've got like 3,700 followers. So I would really love it if we could start having subscriptions over on YouTube too. So y'all do that for me if you will. And I'm gonna get back with you in just. Hey y'all, I'm back. It's time for us to get going and getting things ready for dinner. I took my casserole out of the refrigerator and I've topped it with a very special topping. I don't know if you can tell what that is or not, but instead of just using regular Ritz crackers or something like that, I decided I would try topping it with some cheese straws. So I crumbled up some cheese straws, probably about 10 or 12, and I'll show you these cheese straws are very special to me because my grandson-in-law, he's married to my granddaughter. He and his mom run this cheese straw business, and I wanted to show you what the little cheese straws look like. They're just like almost like little squares of cheese, and they are so delicious. They're made with cheese and butter and spices and just flour, a little bit of flour, and they are so delicious. And the name of the company is Southern Straws Cheese Straws. And I know you can buy them online if you go to southernstraws.com, I think it is. But they're also in some of the local Piggly Wigglies around here. And I'm not sure, lots of specialty shops all across the United States. But look these up because they are delicious. They're a great snack. And I'll try to feature them in some of my other videos and show you different ways you can use them besides just snacking them, because they are addictive. They're so good for just snacking. They've got a definite little kick to them. You can buy the mild if you can't handle the heat, and sometimes I have to get those. But then the normal ones, the original, they've got a little bit of kick. But then if you want a lot of kick, they also have a spicy version of it too. So anyhow, my oven's just about ready. I'm putting it on 350, and I'm gonna put this in there, let it cook, get bubbly and hot, and I will take it out and try it and let y'all see how it is. Be back in just a few. Hey y'all, I'm back. Just got it out of the oven. Look how beautiful this looks. Just toasted up really pretty. I've dipped out a little bit here on a plate, and I'm going to try it. I think it's gonna be good. Hope it's not gonna be too hot to burn my mouth. That is so cheesy and delicious. With a little bit of crunch from the crackers. The cheese straws. Really good. I think you're gonna love it. Y'all give it a try.